Well, good Saturday morning, everyone, and greetings once again from Radio Wasteland Records here in Midland, Michigan. I really do hope your Saturday is off to a great start. It is here. We have got, it's February for one, so that January is just kind of a blink. Now, February, being the shortest month, is also the longest month of winter here in Michigan. I don't know about where you are, but it's crazy here. Feels like it lasts until, March, April, May-ish sometimes. But not going to complain. We're starting February off on a nice note. Some sunshine, a little bit cooler outside, but still kind of a really nice day here at the store. A great day to get outside and enjoy yourself. And if you want some warmth and vintage vinyl, you stop on down here at the store. So we'll get things going. Let's say a few quick hellos heading into our morning. Get this called up here. Let's see. Dan saying good morning. Good to hear that your turntable is back up and running, sir, and that Sam Fish. Good. I'm glad. It's a great album. Not really listened to that before. We'll talk about that album here in a couple of moments. Let's see. Chuck, good morning to you as well. Hopefully that you're enjoying the Samantha Fish also. TC over at TKR Video Central. Good morning to you. Cold, rainy, and snowy in the Metro Boston area. Yeah, I did see I looked at the weather on the East Coast, and yeah, it's not pretty, but we're okay here. That little bit of a rain/snowstorm missed us by not much, just to the south of us. I guess yesterday, even down toward the Flint area, got a nifty snowstorm. So, okay, Pat, good morning to you and all. And Moon Invader saying hello from Maine, way over on the east side, north. Good to have you here. Betty in Toledo saying good morning. Sunny down there. Good to hear. And Mike, good morning to you, sir. Glad you're enjoying that Clash. And Mike, side note, still waiting. And when Steve gets here, I told him too, we're still waiting on that High Fidelity soundtrack. That'll be here, I don't know, eventually. Sometimes those imports are just a little weird to kick out. So, you know what? It's February, and much like last week, not a heck of a lot going on here at the store. I mentioned that the Record Store Day news just kind of crawling forward with the announcement last week of Post Malone as this year's Record Store Day ambassador. But here's the deal. If January moved as quickly as it seems to have done, February is, despite my joking earlier, February is going to move very quickly. And I joke about this. We get a lot of questions about when are we going to see the Record Store Day list? And my guess is probably by early March, but I'll go back. I mentioned I was going to look at our records too to see when that was before, but not too far off. And we're going to be looking at that list. It feels like we just wrapped up the Black Friday stuff. And so now we're going to be inundated with the regular Record Store Day, which means that we got to get stuff going around here at the store as well. But in the meantime, we're just going to enjoy some cool midwinter stuff here at the store and just do what we do and keep up with the vintage vinyl and the new releases. Speaking of the new releases, we do have that new release show. We still put out the episodes on Saturday afternoon, so we'll have that up and running a little bit later today, and that on the YouTube side, and then we link that back over to both the X pages, the Twitter pages, and Facebook, so you can link to them from there. But the YouTube side, I just happened to look, and we were hovering right at 2,099 subscribers. So we need one more subscriber. I'm going to go all PBS on you guys here. We just count on your support to keep these shows going. And not really, but it would be cool. But yeah, one more subscriber puts us into that 2,100 mark. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, comment if you kind of dig what our channel is doing. Now, one of the other things, speaking of the channel, I don't know, those of you who are subscribed may have noticed a tremendous influx of shorts. The other day, Kim and I were looking around at some solutions online to produce more shorts out of our content. And yeah, I put out, I think, like 6 or 7 shorts from our last podcast, two guys talking about records with our good friend Steve Carlson. So I put some shorts up that were extrapolated. There's a big word, your big word of the day, from the overall 1 hour long episode. And we put up a few little 30 to 60 second shorts that did very, very well. So if you are subscribed to the channel, more so if you're subscribed and you have notifications on the channel, you're going to be seeing a few notifications kicking through on there. I don't know for certain, but I think you can tailor the notifications on the YouTube side. So you can say, I only want to be notified when we put out full videos and not shorts, because I am going to be putting up a few more shorts here and there with this new tool, because we're paying for it. So I got to make sure we're kicking them out there. Yeah, but this is an AI tool that is doing the selection and editing for me. It did in roughly 15 minutes, which would have taken me probably about 3 hours to edit a series of 6 shorts out of this. And you guys may know this, I have been a professional video editor for the majority of my lifetime, going from tape to tape editing, even to the realm. I taught the digital editing for quite some time too, and it feels like I'm cheating when I use AI to edit this stuff. So I had a little bit of a guilt complex, but the shorts are out there, so I hope you guys enjoy them. It'll pull out some of those short attention span clips for those of you that enjoy that and don't want to listen to a full 60 minutes of two old guys talking about, in this case, punk. I saw a YouTube comment that said 2 middle-aged men talking about punk rock is the least punk rock thing ever. Thanks for watching, man. We do appreciate the views. So we'll get a kick out of that. But just be forewarned that you are going to see quite a few more shorts kicking out on the YouTube channel. And I'm going to do that with a few other things too. We'll try to break out some shorts. And I'm uploading more of these sound samples from the vintage vinyl side of things as well. I found a couple of fun ones. We'll get those up here in the next week or so. And we'll see where we go. A couple more hellos, and then we'll dive into the records this morning. Let's see. Rick S. Hey, Mr. Savino from sunny Grand Rapids. Good to have you here this morning. Gerard is saying good morning. Good morning to you as well, sir. And TC, let's see. Filmora can make shorts in AI. Yep. I'm not sure I have to go back and look and see what we're using again. Yeah, this is, it's an interesting time we live in, you know, and I not to sound like an old fart, but I'm going to. Audio editing wise, I go back to the days of Razor on tape. Missed the harder film video editing, but I started on 3/4 inch film editing, or video editing rather. Yeah, it's amazing what we're doing today. And if I had these tools when I was young and energetic, who knows, man? I'd be a bigger YouTube star at this moment because I'd have come into it easier. But here we go. Here we are. Okay, let's talk about some releases. Some cool stuff came in yesterday. We're down a little bit of the Samantha Fish, but still got a lot of good ones. I got more coming, but we'll get to that in a second. First up, brand new album from All That Remains, and I'm going to move my microphone a little bit so we can see this. There we go. All That Remains, brand new stuff from them. This is called Anti-Fragile, and it is on electric and sea blue Galaxy vinyl. Move that down. We'll try it there. I think you can still hear me. All That Remains, some very cool, good heavy metal stuff for you folks that are into that. We do have one copy of that left. Let's see. The last of the Start Your Ear Off Right stuff dropped yesterday, ending up the January stuff. And we did get the 4 Rush albums, the reissues. So we've got from 1989, Presto. These are speaking as a Rush fan, these are the lean years. My personal opinion. I know there's some cool stuff on here, but not amongst my favorites. But yeah, they're still all good albums. We got a Presto. I think I've got one of those left and a couple more coming. Roll the Bones, arguably, I think one of the better out of this batch here, simply because of the departure. And I know a lot of true Rush fans had some problems, not just with the album, but with the song Roll the Bones at first, myself included, but it's now one of my favorites. It's a cool one to get. So this one, originally from 91, one copy of this left as of this morning and more coming next week. Counterparts. We got, I think, one copy of Counterparts left, and that should be good to go. This is from 1993. And then finally, Test for Echo. So they put all of these out in a box set about a month or so ago, or toward the end of 24, and kind of figured that they would get around to reissuing them. Hearing rumbles that possibly there's going to be another box set with the albums that came after this, including the cover album Feedback, and then Snakes and Arrows and Clockwork Angels. We'll see where they go with that, whether or not. And speaking of Rush, and Steve and I are going to talk about this in an upcoming episode of the podcast, Rush just announced a huge, and I mean huge, comprehensive 50th anniversary box set. And we'll talk about that. Oh, not just yet. I'll bring it up in the new release show at some point, but Steve and I will talk about it in a couple weeks on the podcast. But regardless, If you're a Rush fan in the mid part, let me get that. That thumbnail. There we go. Thank you for your patience while I thumbnail that one out. Lots of Rush stuff. And we can probably get more of those, I think. On to the other reissues. There was some reissues-ish of Samantha Fish's first album and her second, I believe, in through there. We are out of copies of Runaway, even though I'm holding one here. This is the one that was open for quality control. But this is Samantha Fish's first album from 2011, I believe. But it was never pressed on vinyl. It was a compact disc only, so now it is on vinyl. We ran out of them yesterday, with the exception of this one. I've got more coming next week. If you want one, let me know, because we're going to make sure we reserve them if you do want them. But some very cool. This goes back to her earlier, heavier blues sound, the slide guitar stuff. Then they also put this one out. It had been pressed a while ago, but we could never get a hold of them. This is Samantha Fish and Wild Heart. This one's a little more mellow. This one originally from, I'm going to have to think back here, 2015. A little more mellow, but still got some good blues sound from Samantha Fish here. And then just because we made sure to restock all the other Samantha Fish stuff in there, so we do have Chills and Fever, Killer Be Kind, and then her latest one, not her last, but later one, Faster, on there as well. So swing through if you're in the mood for some good guitar blues. Other stuff in, a Music on Vinyl compilation from Blue Oyster Cult, Don't Fear the Reaper, the best of Blue Oyster Cult. MOV, so they're more expensive, but they sound absolutely excellent. This is a limited edition of 2,000 individually numbered copies on translucent blue vinyl. We had a couple of these go out the door. Out of 2,000, this is number 1,907. Only copy we got left. Those will be hard to get on that blue vinyl after the fact. So if you're a BOC fan, snag that. One of the other things I grabbed yesterday is kind of cool. It's a unofficial Ozzy Osbourne Night Terrors. This is a classic American live radio broadcast collection from a KROQ, a K-Rock King Biscuit Flower Hour, recorded in 1981 in Montreal, Canada. I don't have an absolute on the sound quality of this show. Trying to read up on it. Some say it's good, some say it's okay, but we'll go from there. But this is a Randy Rhoads performance. 10 tracks from Randy Rhoads. This is on blue cloudy vinyl. We had a red Lagoon vinyl. That is gone, but I do have more of those coming next week. A couple of other reissues as I look at the time. We're running up on it. Reissues of Brubeck's Time Out. This has got, I don't know if this has bonus tracks on this or not. Yeah, they announced this one. I believe there is a bonus track on this. And Marty Robbins' Gunfighter Ballads. So I got 2 copies of this left. And the Marty Robbins is on crystal clear 180 gram vinyl. This one also has a couple of bonus tracks on it. Only one of these left, and I went back and looked. Those are out of stock, so that one goes. It'll go on until the next repressing. Just a couple of other quick ones. We got a couple of Carrie Underwood's. We got a My Savior, her Christian album, and a Carrie Underwood's Greatest Hits in the shipment yesterday as well. All right, trying to keep up with the, let's see here. Let's say a couple of quick hellos because I think I'm going to run out of time here. And we'll kick them in and talk about, let's see, Steve is here. There he is. Better late than never. We're here, Steve. Concert buddy Chance saying aloha. Hello to you, sir, as well. And what's a good Samantha Fish album to try for a noob? Okay, Chance, that's a great question. I prefer her heavier stuff. The later album, Faster, actually has a... let me get rid of that right here. Let's see. Cheers from Chicago from Matt. Hello there as well. Chills is the favorite as well from Pat. So quick question, and we'll get you guys on with your day. Chance, Faster is a good album, but it's more poppy. It's even got a song with kind of a rap break in the middle of it. Chills and Fever, the one that Pat mentioned, is a great album, bluesy, but it's softer and it's got more of a jazz feel to it than straight up blues. A little bit more of the jazz feel. It's got some saxophone in there. For my money, the first one is really good, but Killer Be Kind is also just a great album. This one's heavier. I guess if you are a fan of like Stevie Ray Vaughan type of guitar, slide guitar blues, Killer Be Kind is a good one to go with as well. But as I mentioned, her first one, when we get more copies of Runaway, This is a great album. I had not listened to it previously, but it is a good album. And then Wild Heart is also good. We're actually going to talk about these on the podcast because, Steve, these are recent additions to my collection. So we'll get them in for you as well. All right. I had a quick, we'll talk about this next week. I'll bring that one up again. We were going to talk about a collectible, but I see that I am up on time. It's 10 o'clock. Time to get the lava lamps percolating, the turntable spinning, and the doors unlocked here at the store. If you're out and about today, stop on by and see us. We're at 716 George Street, just north of downtown Midland. Open today, Saturday, February 1st, from now until 6 p.m. and then tomorrow, Sunday, from 12 noon until 4 p.m. Here for your new and vintage vinyl needs. Don't forget the new release show coming up a little bit later this afternoon. Get those pre-orders into us so we can make sure we've got them when the time comes next Friday. And then don't forget the podcast with our friend Steve Carlson. Two guys talking about records every Sunday evening on Spotify, iHeart, Apple, and right here on our YouTube channel. So make sure you check all that out when you guys do get a chance. So until next time, this has been Jim from Radio Wasteland. As always, thank you guys for being here. You all do rock. Have a great one, folks. We'll talk to you next week.